Well, let me tell you a thing or two about the media assets. Well, hello,
You're
Kerry
muted or something.
You're muted or something. Hello, Kerry and How are you? Good to see you. Welcome back.
Best day of my life so far today. So ready for the holidays, getting in the spirit of things, going out and doing a lot more fun community activities in the spirit of the show as well as the spirit of the season.
I want to be cool when we have an intro. It'll sound like this. Maybe, I don't know. I'm starting to get bored of that one. But
Oh no, you're sick. We haven't even done one actual thing with the intro and you're sick of it?
I'm only sick on days that end in Y. Hi, Chloe. So it's just us today, I guess. We'll just hang out. We had so much fun going around and gathering some neat new stuff. We have a trip to Arizona. We went up to Portsmouth to look at some old-timey things at Strawberry Bank. We went to a small town place to take a look at. Hey, it's Mike McCallan. A small town place to take a look at a parade. That'll probably be our last one, I guess. And I did one about just the experience of flying. So I don't know. What do you feel like shooting first? I mean, I sort of, I'd say we leave the parade for last, but what do you think is good for first?
I'm a fan of saving the parade for last. It's dynamite. Don't leave before you've seen our segment on the parade. It's probably my favorite thing we've ever done. All the Backpack Show episodes included and the Play for Time. So stick around for that. Let's do maybe holidays in the desert. What do you think?
Let's do it. You go. So we are in Arizona for a company event, and we were just talking about the idea that it's interesting when there's holidays in a scenario where I don't have to wear a jacket. I'm from New England. I've lived my whole life in New England. You have to wear jackets inside in New England. And there's a cactus here and all kinds of palm tree things here. And it must be so weird to try to get that Christmas feeling here, whereas I take that for granted in New England. So we're going to keep our eyes open for holiday in the desert kind of stuff. Lens flare, sunrise. Who says no to sunrise? Oh, hot air balloon. This is the furthest away photo of a hot air balloon.
Not a hot air balloon.
It's a hot air speck. Growing up in Maine, for one thing, it was snow everywhere in every direction. Two, midnight mass, we'd go to church. It was like, we were those Catholics who sometimes went to church, but nobody misses midnight mass. We'd go out to a variety of different relatives for a variety of different dinners. Cheese balls everywhere, all that kind of stuff, eggnog everywhere. It is so weird to imagine how to drum up the vibe in the desert.
When I was growing up, we were sometimes Catholics, so we went to church for Christmas and Easter, but not on Christmas Day. We would actually go Christmas Eve when there was a Christmas pageant, and I was usually some minor player in it. I was never the Virgin Mary. Sometimes I was an angel or a shepherd or something, and that was a stretch for my dramatic talents at the time. But when we got home from that, I could open one present, and I had this incredible knack for picking the very best one. So I'd open the best present on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas would be all the rest of them.
So even though I've been kind of teasing and making fun of the strangeness of being Christmas in a desert, I think that obviously what makes the holidays, no matter what holidays you celebrate, matter are family. And I think it's important to be around people that you love. And if your family has gone, like if you've lost some people, if you're missing people, then it's the family that you've gathered since then that matters. And you should really kind of gather everybody up for a hug. I think that's what matters.
Impressive decorations, Arizona.
Yeah, Scottsdale, who'd have thunk it? I think it's funny how the music, when you add the music to it, it just makes it so much more like meaningful. But it was just us two like wandering around trying not to step on a rattlesnake. But it's good. It was a good segment. I loved how you cut it all together. There was definitely you made a lot out of what we had. It was kind of hamburger helper for a good clip.
You're so funny. So I teared up listening to you talk about family at the holidays because I've lost my parents, my favorite uncle, my best friend. So it was very poignant.
Yeah. No, it's definitely poignant. So the other thing that happened is, we got to go to this holiday trip. We had to fly like 6 hours back and 6 hours, there and back each time. And it's just such a poo. And so I did a little quick video about the loop that happens in flying.
All the worst parts of travel.
Yeah. It's, people say like, oh man, it must be so cool to have a job where you can travel. And it's not. I don't like it. I like being at the place, but I would trade it all for teleportation. I would trade a year of my life to teleport for some trips. That's for damn sure.
Well, I would too, but that's because, as long as it's like the butt end of your life, not like the good part.
I am most definitely at the butt end of my life. We have a couple more clips to go. We went to Strawberry Bank. Now, Kerry and I go and we shoot Portsmouth, New Hampshire a lot. And, that's funny too. I didn't even notice that. We go up to Portsmouth, New Hampshire to shoot a lot, but I decided to go up. Oh, hey, Carol. And I decided to go up and shoot another view of things. And we found that this place called Strawberry Bank, which is this old-timey place, was doing a candlelight stroll, I think it was called. I clearly don't remember.
So, yes, it's the 2024 candlelight stroll at Strawberry Bank. You might think that strawberry is misspelled. It is not. It is like an old school, OLDE school spelling of it. But it's like one of those living history museums. They've got, houses from the period and actors, basically play acting, role playing, like they're from the period, that kind of thing. So it was a lot of fun. We went out there. Again, this is one of those things like I just wouldn't do. For one thing, it cost money. For another thing, it was like kind of out of the way and it was already dark, of course, because that's when it's going to look the best. Normally, I wouldn't do it. But in the spirit of play for time, I got myself together and we went up to Strawberry Bank for the candlelight stroll. So check it out and tell us what you think.
So we're at Strawberry Bank. We're for a candle-lit walk or something with like those words. And we were just checking out all kinds of old historic scenes. There are people walking around role-playing as if they're from different times. And we're getting a chance to check it out. But there's a lot of neat lights. There's Father Christmas. We just had a hot cider. It's a pretty good time. Don't even ask.
Making it be. These are just scrap pieces that people can clean and have fun with.
Yeah, I know, right? Thank you.
I am swapping from a modern lens that has some zoom capabilities but is not super great in low light to a 1960s era lens to shoot this very old-timey place because it has really good low light capabilities. I just have to focus it quite manually. So it should be a fun rest of my night. Fun because they're a bit of a challenge to shooting in the dark. I'm asking all the light to come in as best as I can. There's only 3 ways to do that. One is with ISO, which is kind of like the camera's fakery, and it makes everything look grainy. The other is with aperture, which is if I open this up bigger, I can see more things, but it means less of the shot will be in focus. Or shutter speed, which goes if I go slower, I can get more darkness, but if you wiggle wobble even a little, everything blurs. So I'm fighting all 3 of these things. It's called the exposure triangle. It's fun. So we just finished up at Strawberry Bank. Lots of things to see here. Very nicely lit up. A little pricey for what you get, but you know, we also didn't walk into every single house and listen to every single pitch because several hundred people also thought they wanted to get their money's worth. So we just had a nice little stroll around looking at candles and holiday lights, which is what you can do on location.
Zero presentations is how many we went to.
Yeah, we didn't quite nail that part of it. And for what we paid, like it was like the price of a dinner to go for that thing. You know, if we don't do that, I mean, we could have snuck through a hole in a fence and got what we got out of it, which is just walking around looking at some lights. And
Yeah, but then we wouldn't be supporting the living museum.
that is true. And we got to watch Father Christmas like negotiate with some guy for an old car or something.
Yeah, that was a lot less magical. So I just muted the clip for it. I think I loved you closing the cider house door.
Between that and the other thing that I was thinking of is I asked that guy, there was a guy out there like planing wood in the dark. And I'm like asking, hey, look at that. I asked that guy, like, what are you doing here? And I was expecting some like really cool answer. And he's like, planing some wood. I was like, okay, sling blade. And so off we went on that one. But whatever.
I could have made it shorter, I guess. I just thought it was interesting. The fact that he didn't say that, or that he wasn't making anything in particular, was more interesting to me. 'Cause it's like he's just doing this so that people like us can go into that shed and mess around with wood.
Lastly, we come to the best clip, but the meanest clip. I was in a mood. Dan was in a mood. Dan was in more of a mood. And we went to York, Maine to watch a holiday parade. Now, the thing I have to point out is the small town where the whole bunch of us live had a parade that we skipped to go to the one in York, Maine, which we found was kind of smallish. And we found that the parade in our own town was a whole lot better after the fact. So next year I'll know. Kerry, what do you want to do to set up this clip anymore?
To be fair, I had attended neither parade before, so I did not know what to expect, and I had to go to York anyway. So one way or another, I was going to York, Maine. It just happened to be I think the coldest night of the year so far. So you have to imagine that, because while you're watching it, it may not look that cold. It was extremely cold. So that might explain my husband's attitude a little bit.
You can do the berserker bit. Wow. York, Maine. A place I haven't been except during summertime. And now we're here with a bunch of fire trucks getting ready for a parade. It's cold, but I have coffee that's burning my innards, so we'll be fine.
As you can see, the streets are filled with well-wishers, celebrants, people who just want to get together and party and have a good time.
We're gonna move our way through this crowd right now. We're gonna try to risk it because I want to see if we can get a little closer to the front of the action. I'm a little worried about how many people are here, though. It could be a mob. Well, now I got a hot chocolate in my pants.
It's cold and it's slow and it's like molasses in winter. It's not very enjoyable. Security people here.
He's doing a loop.
Oh, there he goes. Very nimble in that little tractor. Here we are, in hour 7 of the parade. Temperatures have dropped. So have spirits. But we're still here. Our batteries are somehow still working. So we're still recording.
We're gonna keep hope alive.
That's right.
Look at this. Merry Christmas!
Scale of 1 to 10, Chris, what'd you think of this parade?
I think this is a solid 2.8. I think they really came with it this year. I feel like they gave it 110%.
There was some sweet innocence, purity on display, but I couldn't see most of it as my eyes were frozen shut. Thank you for pouring the hot water over my face earlier.
So my
that
pleasure.
Yep.
Second half of this parade, I think, is going to really pick up. I think we got to really go at it. We got to give them 110%.
All right. Day 3 starts in just 5 minutes. We'll see you. Back to you in the studio. Is it still going? Is it over?
My husband of 25 years, Dan Gorgo.
Oh, what a thing. Did they know they had celebs from Boston in attendance? You should have been Grand Marshal. Oh, we were such tool bags. It was so cold. I mean, to the defense of York, Maine, and even looking at it, it's like, it was better than I remember it. But it was cold. And we were just like, come on. And it took a little while to start because we were there, half an hour before the start, like you think you should be. But it was surely no New York City. That's for sure. It was fun.
I think this is an important part, though. There aren't that many to watch, says Ellie, because they are all in the parade. And that definitely seemed to be the case. Just loads of people actually in the parade.
Yeah, it was one of the only parades I've ever been to that the lion's share of the time I would hear, Dennis, or, hey, hello, Carson, like all the little kids talking to each other. It was a very first name basis parade.
It was hilarious. So my mom used to like parades, and she would kind of drag us along early in the morning or whatever, claim our spot and watch the parade. She especially liked parades where people were in uniform. So like Memorial Day parades and observances. She's like, men in uniform. I don't know. Anyway, I think because of that, I tend to not go to parades. Like if we're at Disney World, it's a pro tip for you. If a parade is happening, just make sure you're on the correct side of the park for whatever attraction you want to get on fast. Because once the parade starts, you got a solid 15 minutes to get on without waiting. That's how much I care about parades. So for me, this was a big deal, even to just go to it. And the fact that Dan was absolutely not having it just added a whole other level to the production.
Well, I think, by the way, it's a cue to talk just for a minute about Dan, because Dan has a long history of participating in video projects and things like that on several levels. Can you give just a little bit of backstory on that?
So when we were in college, Dan and some of his college friends, including CC Chapman, were part of a film group called Random Foo Productions, and I acted in some of their early work. But they're independent films, and they were part of the Rewind video community in Canada, which was part of like a larger independent video movement at the time. I think it just it was right at the time when making films was becoming democratized. It wasn't even like smartphone democratized. It was like you'd get a camera, whatever quality, and start making films. So they were really like content people before they were content people. So he's got years and years, decades of experience shooting, planning, editing video. So every once in a while, he'll help us out. We've used him at our work. He'll make an intro or something for the show. So every now and then he'll come in and help edit a clip for the show. And this is one of them. It's just extra fun because he also got dragged along for our shenanigans.
Dan has a really great sense of humor too. When he's not feeling grumpy, even more so. But sometimes when he's grumpy, it's even funnier. So we had a lot of fun. He's a really funny guy. He's got a very big heart. So definitely fun to add to the process, and kind of fun to. I mean, what have we done? We did Black Friday. We did Small Business Saturday. We didn't really do Cyber Monday. Stay Home Sunday we didn't cover exactly. But we've covered that. We covered the holidays in the desert. We covered this. I mean, we really hit it big this year to go along with the launch of Play for Time. What did you think about the process?
So I loved doing the backpack show. I learned a lot. And part of what I learned was that we couldn't guarantee the end product, like what you would get if you joined us for that 30 minutes. It might be fantastic, or it might be not so fantastic. Like we discovered a couple times, it's a little hit or miss. We thought a way to address that from a show production, when we thought of a different thing we wanted to play at, like Play for Time, a different thing we wanted to create content around, we also thought about how to do it in a way that makes sure that what you see on the other side is what we want you to see, like something that's worth your time. So I think it's been more work probably than we anticipated. It's also been more fun, frankly, than I anticipated. And it's actually it's forcing me to live the principle behind the Play for Time show, which is to get out and engage with life.
I wish I could say that was the plan. I wish I could say that these two things went directly together, but me, it's not my plan. But it is like, now we think in the concept of, can we make this a clip? Can we make this a segment? Can we put something together that kind of matches one of the 5 segments that we thought about back in October? A lot of them being on location or whatever. But I think that, And we had that really good one from Chloe. I'm trying to harass Joanne into making one, which she might have, and I just maybe forgot to review it. I don't know. I gotta go back and look. So we have, we're heading in that direction, but we still don't have our beginning and ending clips because we had to beg Dan for that as well. So, oh yeah, good. So I'm just gonna play this music and we'll go. We will be here next Friday as well. That'll be Opera Christmas. What day will that be? That'll be 25, 26, 27, 27. So not even Boxing Day. We'll have to wrap up Boxing Day. What's your Christmas plan?
I'm going to Montreal to hang out with my family at some point because I have a child who lives in England. So they'll be coming over to hang out. And we're going to spend not Christmas Day, but like New Year's together as a family up there.
Superb. I'm doing Christmas Eve here with a handful of local celebrants. Christmas Day, I will go harass my children and my ex-wife. So I guess that's what we're going to do. Hey, this is music to walk out on. That's useful. All right, this is the end of the show. Get out of here. Good to see you. Merry Christmas. Vaya con quesos, as they say in Spanish.